Hi guys, this is Rebecca here. I just wanted to give a brief look at the Gimp application that I described. It is a free application that you can use similar to the Photoshop application. The only difference I think really, well, to be honest with you, I'm sure there's many more differences, but the one big difference for me was that Gimp was free. Gimp is a photo editing application, so the first thing that you have to do in order to modify the Diyfish inserts, I should preface this with not modify, apply an overlay to the Diyfish inserts. In order to do that, we have to convert the PDF document to JPEG first. So there is a website that you can use that will do this for you for free. It's called smallpdf.com. When you go to that website, you just select PDF to JPEG, which is this icon right here. Once you choose it, it'll ask you to drop the PDF file here or choose file. I'm going to go ahead and choose file just so I can show you what I'm doing, but you're going to find the document that Diyfish sent to you. Either you downloaded it from Etsy or it was emailed to you. So you'll find it wherever you may have downloaded it, and for me I'm going to choose the March version. Simply select it and hit choose. It's uploading it to the converter, and then it's going to ask you, do you want to extract single images or do you want to convert the entire pages? This is the one you want, convert entire pages. Because Diyfish inserts are front and back, you're going to have two pages to choose from when you create this. So that's what this is doing. I'm going to select choose option. It's processing it, and then in a second now I can download it as a zip, save it to Dropbox, or save it to my Google Drive. I'm just going to download it, and it will then save the file to my hard drive. So this is what it's done. It's made two copies, one of the calendar side and one of the tracker and to-do list, etc. Okay, so we're done with this. I'm going to go ahead and minimize my website. So I've got Gimp open now. It may look weird right now, but what we're going to do is open the document that we need to find that we want to create an overlay. So I'm going to click on File, Open, and for me, I'm going to just look in my Downloads folder, and this image is 4 because I did it today, and that's the monthly calendar view, and this is the tracker calendar view. This is the one I want. I mean, you can open this and print on the calendar, but since mine change frequently, I don't want to actually physically print on it, so I'm just going to go ahead and choose the tracker. So I click on open. It opens in a small screen. I'm going to go ahead and make it bigger screen. Now the windows that were off to the right are kind of hidden behind it now, so I can, bring it behind it by just hitting the little minimize button. So couple things. If we want to write on the text, we have to make sure that the text box is horizontal. This is actually in a vertical format at the moment. We will change it back to write in the vertical format for this for these columns in just a moment, but I'm going to start off with doing a horizontal. So in order to change the view, I'm going to click on Image, Transform, and I'm going to rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. That will bring it to the perspective that I need to enter a text box here. So I also want to zoom in a little bit to make it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to click on View, Zoom, and I'll just do 100%. I'm going to scroll up so I have a nice big view at the top line, and this is where I'm going to put in tools and text. I first highlight where I want to enter the text. I can change the font, the size, the color, you know, if you want it underlined or struck through, etc. For now, I'm just going to type in important, and I'll just do it in caps. Now, highlight it, change that font if you want to. I'm going to go choose 40. Let's try 60. And you can also change, not that one, kind of like the spacing of it, which I think is kind of neat. And I'll kind of center this. And then I'm going to also change the color. And like I said, if you want to change the font, I usually just start typing in a letter and it'll give you this whole list of fonts. It might take you a long time to find what you're looking for. I found that the Berlin sans actually appeals to me. So there we go. Anyway, so there's the text. Now, the next thing I want to do is convert the image again sideways so I can type in the things on the side. So just slide this over, move it up. Now, one thing to note, every month has less or more days on them, so this bar here could be lower on the page or higher. So I recommend that if you're going to type in these fields, keep in mind that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think this one has 31 days. There you go, 31 days. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So keep that in mind if you're doing like February. Don't start your typing on row 8 because there's only 28 days, because if you try to use the same sheet for March, it will then write into this area. So I always try to keep it, the text more focused or directed to the right hand side so that it doesn't go over this line item. So again, you want to enter in text. So we're already in the text field, so all you have to do is make your text box, type it in, and now I'm going to write, you know, trash. Again, change the font if you want it bigger, you know, something like that. And again, just make sure that whatever line item you're going to kind of head toward, just move it more to the right so that you can ensure that that printing out on another sheet would never affect going over that line. So I just assume kind of use this one line above it as my guide. And if you saw that, what I was doing was lining up my mouse to the edge of this thing, and a little arrow, if you can see the arrow showed up, that allows me to move where it starts and ends. The same thing applies to the bottom bar. So there's a tiny little line in between my cursor, and once you have that line lined up with the line at the bottom, you'll see it light up and an arrow show up. That lets you move it around. Same thing with the top. You know, so if you want to adjust how it's viewed. Okay, so I'll make one more, and we'll say and we'll change the font size. Okay, and that pretty much is all you need to do in order to add your text. Then what we need to do is we need to make sure that we always put the image back to the way it was, which we are in the way it was originally in the vertical format. So if you had taken the image and flipped it counterclockwise, as we did with the important text, you would want to make sure that you rotate it back to this 90-degree clockwise image again before we go on to the next step. The next step is to click on Windows and then the dockable dialogues. You'll see this layers. We want to make sure that when we're done that we click this little eye icon next to the image. That hides everything but what we've entered so far. So the text is there, like here's important, but the image isn't. Okay, so from there what we do is we click on File, Export As, give it a name. I'm going to call this 0002 overlay, and then you want to choose this little field down here where it says select file type by extension. So I'm going to click that little arrow and I'm going to scroll down to PDF, which is portable document format. It's converted it up here for me by when I clicked on it, and then I say where to keep it. It's keeping it in the same folder as that downloads folder that I originally opened this in, and now it's just called 0002 overlay. So it'll be 001, 0002, and then 0002 overlay. I click export. And these two fields aren't checked normally. I check them. I'm not sure. I haven't tried unchecking them to see what would happen, but I just kept these two checked and click export. Then it saves the file. What you'll then do is go over to your Adobe Acrobat Reader and you will open up the file that you want to print. So this is the March one. You would print it just as you normally would, right? So first side, flip it over, and do the second side. Then you're going to want to open the file that you just created, which was the downloads folder, the images, so that's what we want to do. We want the images for, and here's that 0002 overlay. And I click open, and now trash and laundry and important are there, but when we put this back in the printer, this one back in the printer, remember this needs to be face down, because when it prints, it'll print this onto this sheet. So I hope that explains it. So you would print this as normal and then put the document back in the printer and then choose this one and hit File, Print. So that would put your overlay onto it. I hope that was explanatory and it made sense. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a question or a comment below. I'm not an expert on this, so please don't judge me on it. Just trying to be helpful for some of my friends that are not familiar with it. Thanks and have a great day.